Hey folks, Jason Dukes here with Dirt Race Life. A week ago we ran the car for the very first time, made a few changes to the setup. Some of the setup changes that we made during the night actually messed us up, but we learned a lot, put a fan shroud on the car. Check this out from earlier today when I put the car on the scales. Car shows up a little bit lighter, 3,003 pounds, but it's down about 8 or 9 gallons right here whenever I scaled it as far as the gas goes. So slight difference here on my percentages. You see I'm like 54% rear here. I did raise the bite in the process of working with the ride heights. The ride heights is where the big change was. I raised the front of this car up quite a bit. Well, I came up to 8 3/4 inches on the left front, 8 1/2 inches on the right front, and this was like 8 inches or a little over, and this was like 7 3/4 right here. So like I came up significantly on the front. I'm not sure that's exactly where I want to end up being, but I know I do need to come up, so let's do something and see where we're at. On the rear, 11 1/2 inches to that bolt on the lower trailing arm on the left rear and 11 inches on the right rear. I set the left rear chain so that the car arrives 2 1/2 inches. And then at that point, I've got 275 pounds of bite in the left rear. So that's the amount that the spring stays compressed when the chain is tight on the left rear. If you've been following along, you'll know what I'm talking about there. Changes here, no changes on the springs whatsoever. I did go ahead and I had put the 50 rebound right rear on the car at Camden when we went out for the feature. I left that on the car. The track we're at tonight, I know for a fact will be slick, 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 slick. So we're just gonna leave that 50 rebound instead of 40 rebound on that right rear. I did go back to the 100 rebound, 130 compression BSB shock on the left front. Might change that during the night, but I need to figure out how this car acts with this shock on it, and then what does it do with the 300. All right, so other than that, that's the only changes. Let's go back to racing.
We're about to go hot lap real quick. Papa is about to go out to the track, so let's go see what he's got.
Like the track was loose. I don't know, it wasn't quite how I needed to be. I may need to go ahead and put that extra 40 pounds on right here.
I'll say this, it looked like when I was up on this side, so here in turn 1 and 2, it looked like I could see the steering. It looked like you were chopping it, honestly, to get it to turn and then you're chopping it back. Yeah, I don't know if maybe like you said, put that in will keep you from having to chop so much.
I may go ahead and put the 40-pound brick on the right rear. All right. It's going to be slick, black slick, and my lap times are going to really slow down. And like I may still have good straightaway speed, but I'm going to have to really lift and really slow down in the corner. And so I'm going to add this 40-pound block to this right rear because I'm trying to make sure that this right rear plants and stays planted where that I can pick up the throttle and stay on the throttle through that turn even though I'm going slower. And a little different maybe from last Saturday night. Last Saturday night that was a big smooth sweeping turn. Maybe it didn't need it, but I think this track's gonna need it. We're gonna go ahead and throw it on there. If I hit a big hole, it might make it jockey a little more, but I think it's what I need for my lap times to be better. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I left that, like I said, I got that 50 rebound shock on the right rear instead of the 40. I'm gonna leave that alone. We're gonna do this and that's it. Let's see what we can do. We're dead last. We drew terrible. We're starting in the heat dead last. One heat, I think it's, how many cars is it, Rachel?
It's now 7 cars.
7 cars.
So actually you're gonna be number 6 because that 7th car came in.
Well,
so outside, 3rd row. We have our professional mud scraper tonight here at the track with us. If you need your car scraped, give him a call. He needs all the practicing.
yeah.
He's working for hamburger.
He works for hamburgers, that's right. Chicken strips. He works for chicken strips. I felt like I was struggling a little bit on driving style. The car was actually okay, but you know, it was like I was just, when I would be up in the middle, it just, I felt like there was just loose material and the car would just drift. And I could get the bottom to work where I just broke the car down, and it was rolling over. The weight on the right rear definitely helped. Because it was hooking in, you know, and it's like, that was fine. I could get off the corner fine. And the main thing, I'm just sitting here like looking at it and I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on with my setup? And I think what was happening, I wasn't engaging my left rear tether, and like I was just sliding into that corner, and I was just drift into the corner. And I think what was going on is that I wasn't engaging my chain on my left rear, and so I wasn't ever getting the car where it would transfer over and I could pick that throttle up on that right rear and drive off, you know. And so that was really delaying my entry. I felt like my car was really kicking out sideways on me, and I was struggling to pick the throttle up. I could be wrong, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten my chain down about a 1/2 inch and see if I can get it to engage. I'm gonna leave my settings alone. That's gonna put a little more preload in the spring. Don't get me wrong, it will, but I'm gonna leave everything else alone. I'm not gonna put that 300 rebound shock on the left front tonight. I'm gonna leave it on the 100 pound. I'm gonna tighten my left front chain up to 1 inch of drop. It's at 1.5 inches. I'm gonna tighten it to 1 inch and fill it up with fuel. I'm gonna leave that extra weight on that right rear, and we're gonna go back for the feature and see what we can do. We ended up finishing 3rd because 2 guys spun out in front of me. I mean, just like both of them, like right in front of me. Man, I was bumper cars dodging them guys. I mean, really, guys? It's a new car. Come on, give me some slack here. But anyway, dodge those. So I'm gonna start 3rd. That puts me on the inside, which the car was fine on the inside. So I know I can dive right off into turn 1. The car's gonna rotate and turn. So yeah, we'll go to the feature. We'll see what we do. Let me get that chain tightened down.
was tight there at first. I thought Matt was going to come around me, but he actually pulled it off.
Well, that was definitely better.
That was definitely better.
Definitely better. The weight on the right rear, you know, it was definitely in the slick. It was rolling in, it was hooking. I was getting my side bite that I was missing. So I was happy about that. I'm glad I tightened the chain up on the left front. I was getting some throttle through the middle of the turn. I could not reel dread in out front because I couldn't pick up enough throttle through the center of the turn. Like, I had it down the straightaway, but that wasn't enough to catch breath. And so that was definitely an improvement. So rear end on the car that time, I really felt like I had control of the car. Adding the lead to the right rear, I got it where it was hooking in. I could tell I was catching my chain like I wanted to on the left rear. Car was hooking down on the right rear, and it was stopping, drifting on me. Now, they had a lot of loose marbles. I had to stay in that one lane that they had there. So where I was hurting that I see I could pick up some lap time is after exit, and I roll in and it hooks, and the car's, you know, the car hooks in and it's not sliding on me. And I'm picking the throttle up, but I cannot pick up as much throttle as I wanted to. I needed to pick up, you know, and like be able to just roll into the throttle, and by the time I got to the exit, be like down on it, matted. And I wasn't able to do that. I was able to like roll in and scotch the car up some, but then I kind of had to sit there and like go through the transition through the center before I could pick the throttle on up. Tightening the left front chain down more could help that, but could have some negative consequences as well. I think the 300-pound rebound shock on the left front, if I'd have went ahead and done that, I would have been better, because that would have slowed that left front down on it being able to lift. So what it would have done is it would have took weight out of that left front and that right rear timing-wise in the middle of the corner. As I picked the throttle up, my left rear would have loaded up more as I picked the throttle up. So I wouldn't have got the negative consequences on entry or down the straightaway, but it may have helped me through the center. So I think that's definitely the next move when I get in these conditions, because I got to find some more speed there. I want to be able to run down any situation and go to the front in any race. We're close though, y'all. We are definitely close. Hope you're subscribed, because, buddy, we are moving now. I will see you next time.